I'm Sarah Baxley, and welcome to Pinkie the Bear. This is my Mystics, Metaphysics, and Mindfulness channel, and I'm here today with your astrology forecast for the week of August 26th, 2018. I almost forgot what year we were in. Anyway, the two upcoming themes for this week are 1, buttoning up, and 2, moving forward. All right, so happy full moon, by the way. We just had our full moon this past Sunday, August 26th. I feel like the energy of the full moon today is, though it's like a little bit intensified, I feel like it's not as kind of like erratic as it was earlier in the summer months. And, something I want to say too is right now that's really cool is that we have 5 planets in Earth signs. Now, the thing that's, with Earth signs is that Earth signs are very much about, well, Earth, like anything to do with the physical environment, right? Our physical world, whether that's something that's tactile, something that we could touch or enjoy with the senses, right? That would be Taurus. Whether it is, perfecting our immediate environment and kind of going through with like our organizational skills and everything else, right, Virgo, or whether or not that's kind of like planning ahead for a secure future for ourselves and kind of putting in the work now for, a more stable future, right, building a firm foundation, and that's Capricorn. So there's a lot of this Earth energy going on, and it's especially going to be through the next couple weeks. As I mentioned, Earth energy is very grounded. It's very much about being practical, pragmatic, efficient, organized, all of that kind of stuff. So you're going to see kind of a theme of that and kind of a little bit more focus on that over the next couple weeks. And something else that I think is really cool is that, now that Mars has ingressed back into Capricorn, in addition to a couple other factors, the moon is not going to be void of course for very long in between its changing signs. And void of course moons are times where it's kind of like more of an introspection time. It's not really times that you want to do things to have tangible results, right? So I think that just tagging back on this theme of kind of like productivity, right, and efficiency, I think it's also interesting to note that the void of course moon, the time is very limited for the next couple weeks as well, kind of showing that we're almost kind of making this forward progress, right? And it's a time for us to really kind of like get ahead with the things in our lives, in a practical sort of way. Whether that's our immediate day-to-day environment, whether that's part of our routine, whether that's building foundation for our future, or just making our lives kind of like more cozy and pleasant in a physical way overall. So anyway, so the first theme that I put of this week, right, is buttoning up. And, and a lot of that ties into all of this Earth energy I was just talking about, with all of these things kind of going on, both with like so little time of void of course moon over the next couple weeks until September 10th, in addition to these 5 different planetary bodies in Earth signs, it's very much about let's make things as efficient as possible. Let's move forward, let's plan for our future, and let's be really practical and pragmatic. So that's just something to kind of think about. And, it's funny, like these couple weeks, just as like a couple examples, right? Could be like going through and like cleaning out your email inbox. Like, ugh, like how annoying is that, right? Takes forever, but, it really does almost kind of clear way for more space in the brain, right? Or kind of going through maybe like your laptop or things with technology, just like different things that, maybe you need to, like make room on your desktop, or, just kind of like those little, almost like mundane tasks that, you just kind of like put off and put off and put off, that, actually when they're done, they end up making things run a lot more smoothly and efficiently, right? So it's kind of like you realize, oh wow, I can't believe that I was like dealing with that. It feels so much better, right? And it's kind of like, it makes an impact in your physical world because there's less clutter around, right? Or maybe it's kind of going through and reorganizing your closet, or, or pantry, or, whatever that could be for you, whatever those kind of like little things that were lingering over that you've kind of been pushing aside, right? then definitely, now is the time to kind of, hop on those. So that's buttoning up, right? And that's not just the theme for this week, but that's for the next couple weeks, I'd say, until about September 10th, right? So really just buttoning things up and making things run efficient and smooth, right, in our day-to-day life. And the second theme of this week is moving forward. My goodness. Let me just say, so Mars stationed retrograde. Okay, let me backtrack a little bit. So Mars retrograde only happens about every 2 to 2.5 years. And the reason why that's significant is, we often hear about Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde, because Mercury goes so fast in its orbit, right? I think it takes 88 days for it to go around the sun one time. And because of the speed that the Earth is moving, Mercury retrograde happens about 3 to 4 times in a calendar year. And so that's a lot, right? That's one of the reasons why we hear it all the time, like, oh no, Mercury retrograde again, blah, 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 like all this stuff. So, but this is interesting because we just had a Mars retrograde for the first time since 2016. Over the last 2 months, what has changed, right? Was there something that kind of like threw a wrench in things that kind of caused you to reevaluate or rework something in your life? Maybe it was something in your physical environment, something in your home, right? Like just something where all of a sudden it's almost like the brakes had to stop, and it's like we had to kind of like rework and redo something. And now we're getting ready to move forward again. So Mars station's retrograde tomorrow, right? I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, Mars station's direct tomorrow. Oh my god, imagine if we're still going through Mars retrograde. Mars station's direct tomorrow. And so generally the day of a station, we call it stationing when it's like, and then it goes back the other way. Because it's kind of like, finding ground, right? And so station days can kind of be a little bit more intense, so kind of lay low. But, we're getting ready to kind of move forward again, and Mars is stationing direct in Capricorn, which is a sign that it's exalted in, so it's definitely a strong place for Mars to be, again, tapping into that Earth energy that we were talking about earlier, practical, pragmatic, all of that, efficient, goal setting, achieving things, right, planning for the future. It's time to plunge forward. It's time to kind of make some nice, firm, steady, efficient progress, right? Thanks to all of that Earth energy that we have that's going on there. So anyway, that's everything for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe. You think someone would like this, then go ahead and share with them. And I'm always happy to see any comments below. So go ahead and leave me a comment if you want. And otherwise, I will see you around. Thanks again. Cheers.